There are all kinds and degrees of illusion. Those we have of friends, lovers, family, collective illusions spun around our institutions, our governments, our societies, our churches, our place or lack of place in the universe. It can be argued that everything is an illusion, and certainly the web of life catches many flies. It's difficult to sustain ourselves without recourse to illusion, but it's advisable to keep the habit and number of illusions under control, if possible. I flatter myself that I've freed myself of most of the worst of them, but the one that interests me most is the so-called sense of self, a sense of ourselves as essentially unchanging over time. It's always a surprise on the worst of days, a shock, to see the reflection of the 61-year-old I have somehow become in the mirror. But as soon as I turn away, my conviction that I am exactly the same person I've always been reasserts itself, sure as a bubble of oil in a spirit level. And I have no doubt that if I live to be 100, I'll wheel myself away from that mirror with the same feeling of assurance. You can't argue with a feeling, especially one that recurs so unostentatiously, automatically, without any effort or fanfare. And if it is an illusion, it's surely a harmless and necessary one, particularly as we get older, when the firm, perhaps pretty skin sags, the eyes become hooded and dim, the hair grays and retreats. But can I really be the same person I was as a 21-year-old? Yes, I've changed, I think, but not essentially. The quality of my consciousness is the same, broadly speaking. My attitude to life is the same. Though these aren't quite what I mean by my sense of unchanging self. If I were religious, I might call it a soul. But if I did, it would have to be the mortal variety, as an immortal one would run the risk of falling into the hands of a jealous God. No, soul has too many religious or poetic connotations. What I have is some kind of substratum, an indelible trace, a synaptic tract perhaps, an unrinsable leftover of the accumulated experience of my 61 years. Though it might be more accurately described as an ingrained reflex action which flicks on whenever I see myself in the mirror. The great cynic, La Rochefoucauld, would have no doubt as to what to call this sense of an unchanging self, which calms me in the face of time's ravages, reassures me in adversity. Self-love, vanity.